Are we still level 3?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Milestone leveling, baby.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
to do specific stuff.
I know. I love how early on in like the D&D modules that they did experience, and then how quickly that faded out of fashion in all the modules.
Yeah.
Why would you ever do experience? I don't understand.
And it's like, because like
I had to explain that to some people the other day about how like that's like nobody does experience anymore, and they were like, "Oh, is it just like a bad system?" And I was like, "Yes."
It's a very
It
bad.
makes it
pretty much.
it makes it so much more work for the DM.
The
to, like,
only
try
time
to, like,
it was useful was whenever we were doing like Adventurers Guild stuff, and like
Yes,
I wanted
yeah.
to reward you based on the adventures you did. But even then, half the time I would still be like, just level up, so that way you're not a level 2 character with a bunch of level 5 characters. Like just do it.
Yeah.
So like even then it was still halfway there.
And it's interesting because I know, Logan, you mentioned very early on, like right at the beginning and stuff, how you're talking about how this runs, how just this module runs, and how it's like it is event milestones as opposed to like session milestones, which I think is interesting and also weird because like we've gotten so used in like our other like home games and stuff like that where we do like, oh, you after like certain just
You've
know,
been
it's a
playing at
general
this
ball.
level for 5 sessions. Go ahead and take the next one.
Yeah, or you've done a bunch of different stuff, but like you mentioned that there's like specific stuff.
Yeah, it's like
that,
once you
like,
complete
you
this,
do
then
these
this.
things.
Yeah.
We could go through the whole campaign and do like half of those things. Like we could easily go through this whole module, and I'm assuming do like half of these things and be like half the level we're supposed to be by the end.
Let's just no clip to Arl.
Speedrunner strats.
I mean,
I
you
don't.
could.
Do you want to see how many turns it would take for my character to die instantly in that
One.
situation?
It would take one. It actually you wouldn't even get to your turn, or it
Yeah.
would go first and kill you. And
Yeah.
then
Or it
She
would be
would
like,
come after you first.
oh, yeah, that's true.
you would probably say something overly horny as
Yeah.
Louis, and or will be like, "Now I'm not cool with that." Zap.
Yeah. Who are you to talk to me?
Okay, so
How dare you?
I've probably said it on stream before, and most of you know, I write freelance articles for WebMD, and recently for the past couple months they've been writing, because there's also like lifestyle sections of WebMD, and part of lifestyle includes pets, and so they've been commissioning a lot of articles of like what to know about this breed of dog and what to know about that breed of dog, but they're now commissioning articles about cats.
Oh, hell
And I
yeah.
am pumped. I don't even know what the fuck a Balinese cat is, and someone already claimed it, and I'm pissed about it. Hold on, let me see if I can. What is an African eggplant? I don't
From
know.
Bali?
A Bengal cat. Give me that Bengal cat article. Fuck
Tap it up.
yeah! I'm writing about Bengal cats, y'all.
I look
Nice.
forward to it.
Bombay
wanna-
cat? What the fuck's a Bombay cat? Give that.
You
to
want
me,
to write
too.
about stupid fat orange tabbies? 'Cause
Yes, I
have
will write an
one
article that
write
says what
about-
to know about waffles. The
Yeah.
cat.
He's been trying to get in the closet for the past 30 minutes, and
Waffles,
Just-
it's
he's over
Pride
there.
Month. You don't have to go in there anymore.
There's still
You're
some
free to be who
families
you
that-
are, son.
Boo. Well, I don't have Streamlabs
Sorry,
anymore. I
I've
was
been on a
claiming
corny
articles because I
streak
need
recently.
to work. If anyone's here, let us know if you can hear us or if you can't hear us or if things look weird or sound weird or smell weird.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you,
Yeah.
Alan.
Okay.
Triple
Hey.
Alien
Did you get a
is-
haircut?
Yeah.
It's looking less anime character. It's still full anime character, but
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
That's
little.
why do you say that?
Because last time I saw Alan, he needed a haircut and his hair was like like full like Super Saiyan straight up in the air.
No, you can't have a middle part with that.
I was like, that just kind of looks like the equivalent of having like a chip in your tooth, but like up in your hair. Wait, Austin, who is that?
This
This is a cat.
Your new cat.
This is Alaska. She's very sleepy.
Jacob, you're not playing a bard
Was,
for this
um,
section. You can put that away.
This was our.
Did you play that too?
She was our friend's cat, and some stuff ended up happening, and they had to surrender her to the Humane Society. And when she became available, we just went ahead and adopted her.
Congratulations.
So so
I
that
think-
way she wouldn't go away. Squishy baby.
I think legitimately, I might play a bard next time when Louis dies.
When, not if.
Yeah.
When.
Bryn's stinky though.
When Louis is rightfully struck
Well,
down.
see, you already have the conceit though that Louis can die twice.
Yeah, you think that's
then-
not gonna happen in one session, real quick? I don't trust Louis to live very long.
Honestly,
I
you
want
shouldn't
him
trust
to.
me because since I established that if you die twice, then you die, then I'm gonna make you the target as often as possible.
Louis
Because I know
goes in
you
the
get one
fight
chance.
Anyway.
You die in Icewind Dale, you die in real
You
life.
die in real life.
Actually, what you did was just made Louis a tank. Just not in the
Kind of.
conventional sense.
Just like the
Yeah.
worst tank, like he gets downed immediately, but hey, he takes the hits
He
for one
comes
round.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, that can be the name to a like a Dark Souls spin-off.
That really goes the Louis Chronicles.
I mean, you just explained the anime ReZero, but like Louis looks different every time.
I guess I kind of am playing ReZero. Didn't
Spoiler,
think about that.
by the way.
I don't think it's very
Yeah, we
spoilery
remember
considering it happens in episode 1.
I guess before we get started, Xavier, since you usually aren't here until right before we start, I don't get to catch up with you very much. What have you been up to? What's going on in Xavier Land?
Good job.
New job.
Why would you say that for me? That's my thing to say.
Come on.
It was a lie. He's actually still working at his last job. He's still pretty much.
Now I'm gonna quit my job, get a new
I'm
job.
sorry that I pay attention to your life to know enough that you have a new job.
He played it. He was just answering like he's at the front of the classroom. Okay. He was like, I know the answer.
I know the answer.
But no, I got a new job. It's fully remote and pays me almost double my last salary. So I
You're
am in
comfortable.
a very good position right now. Oh yeah. And actually, like the company's very nice, and like the people there, like I used to be like the only designer. Now like at a company that has like a design team.
So you're doing like the
Yeah.
same things.
Oh yeah, same thing. Still a UX designer, but I'm really liking it and it's really good so far.
Hell yeah.
So these been pretty good.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, but other than that, everything else is still pretty much the same.
Same but different.
Same, but different.
I finally beat Elden Ring today, Xavier.
I'm so dude, nice.
Just
What
in-
ending you go for?
Just in time for us to all play online together.
Yeah, because we're gonna get that mod. I want to do that mod so we can all do multiplayer.
got to do that Age of Stars.
Age of Stars, nice.
You have fun with that mod. I can't do it because I'm playing on PS5. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Ripperoni, baby. Ripperoni. Ooh, since you do have PS5, you should get Returnal. I've been playing that and I love it.
Yeah, you've been
I-
playing a shit ton recently.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the Avengers game that was everyone really hated, but I think it's the same as the new Star Wars Battlefront 2. That I think that now it's a good game, but it definitely was not a good game on release.
Talking about that, No Man's Sky apparently
I bought that
is
too.
getting another update.
Yeah. I actually
Man's
re-downloaded it so I can play it and I hopped back in there. It took me a couple of seconds to re-figure out the controls and everything, but
Is it cross-platform? I don't remember.
Is it
Maybe.
multiplayer?
yeah, it's multiplayer.
Yeah. I'll look that up in a minute, but I'd be down to play it if it is, because I have it on PS5 just because my computer chugged it a little bit. It can run on my computer, but
Xavier, is Returnal like Mass Effect meets Dark Souls? Because that's kind of what it looks like.
yes, kind of.
So
It's a roguelike, isn't
it's
it?
a roguelike. So whereas like you die and you do like the loop again.
Yeah.
However, it has like a lot of like cosmic horror and also like a lot of psychological horror aspects into it, which I was not expecting. And it's really good. But
I feel like
the music is good, the atmosphere is good, and like I was playing it. I wasn't expecting how scary the game actually gets at
Yeah.
parts, and it was like 3 in the morning, and I was playing it. I was like, oh,
I'm in danger.
I need to watch cartoons.
So you said Returnal, and I was like, I feel like I've heard that before. And then you started talking about like the loot cycle and everything. I'm like, I remember I was just going down a YouTube rabbit hole and I watched a video about that, and it looked so
Yeah, I would say that
fucking
looks right up your
cool.
alley.
Yes,
It's really good. It's really fucking good. No Man's Sky is cross-platform.
Oh, word! I'm down to play. I love that game.
Yeah, I am still in the starter area. That and Elite Dangerous I've been playing a bit back and forth, trying to get into space, because space games have a very bad trope where they don't explain very well anything past like the how to get into the ship and fly away, and then they're just like, here's the whole universe, travel.
No Man's Sky is particularly bad about that because it's just like go to another planet.
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
And some people, I was talking to one of my friends about this. Some people really thrive in that environment of like, they didn't give me any information. There's a shit ton to do.
It's
Hell yeah!
stressful though, man.
And
I-
I'm always like, there's too much. There's too much to do.
That's why I don't play as many open world games as I used to, because that's how I get. I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. There's too much to do. Not every game, not every AAA game needs to be an open world game. I will say that, but also,
Oh yeah.
I do like them. It just depends on the context.
Speaking of
Speaking of open world.
oh, I was gonna say, you
What?
should let me know when you're playing, so that
I will.
if I am available, I will also play with you.
Are you on Xavier's server?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, the Discord server. Yes,
Okay, cool.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Discord server. Gotcha.
Because
Cool.
we play there with Aaron once in a while. Who's our other friend who plays it quite a bit. So.
Rad.
I now have a transporter ship, so I can transport people from place to
Oh,
place.
Fun fact: wing missions. I know
Are
this is weird.
super profitable.
They are, but they are also, if you do partial credit, only one person gets the money. So.
Found that out the hard way.
Yeah.
Also, not related.
Unrelated.
I'm $4 million richer.
Yeah. Unrelated. Yeah.
Oopsie. Yeah, no. Trust me. Wing combat based wing missions are super profitable, and I have a very large, fully outfitted ship. So
That gives me an idea.
let me carry you.
What idea does that give you, my dude?
An adventure where, you know, the classic, go kill this monster, but whoever gets the killing blow gets the money.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm not playing Louis. I decided. Xavier's talking to me about this a long time ago. About the fact that I played a combat class in our non-combat campaign, and then I played a non-combat class in our combat campaign.
A little bit.
A little
You did
bit.
make some choices there, didn't you?
I didn't make a singular choice. Not a very good one, but I made it.
Honestly, it makes it more interesting because
Yeah.
you know
It
you
does.
can fit
And
into what's
I think
going
you
on.
said however many weeks ago that like Oleg has been one of your favorite characters, and I'm glad because Oleg was definitely a fish out of water in a lot of the circumstances he was in.
I loved Oleg. Oleg, I think it was just the complexity of the character. I think I haven't made a character like as, well, in aspects as deep as him.
Let's go back. Let's just play
We
Sharn
still
again.
got some
I don't-
stuff to
I don't-
figure out in
Sharn.
Sharn. There's
I
still
don't
stuff.
really want to play Sharn again other than like one shots.
I mean, that's probably the plan. It'd be fun though.
I enjoy old characters, but I enjoy looking back at old characters more than I think I enjoy playing them. That
I
makes sense.
definitely, I think in the future, if I ever start like a new campaign and people are down for whatever, I think Eberron might be my like home setting, just because like there's such a variety of things to do that are outside of just Sharn. Like every kingdom is super
Isn't there a
unique and
country run by a vampire?
probably, definitely.
There
That's
is
how
an
I'm-
entire place run by an undead like
Yes.
demigod
Yes.
council, which is where the elves are
Yeah,
apparently.
the
from.
elves are led by it. Yeah,
That's how I'm
Yeah,
starting
we
to
didn't even get there.
yeah. It's
We-
just
trying
there's
to feel
so
about
much.
Theros. I
Yeah,
like
Theros. Yeah, Theros is one of those places
Yeah.
for sure.
I'll play some Theros.
By the way, Xavier, I'm running a one-shot later this week, and I was digging through all of like the different setting books because each setting has their own like starter adventure. So I was just reading through it, trying to see like, what's this one about? What's this one about? And I finally read through like the Theros starter adventure, and just the first scene, the first encounter with the dead guy on a horse, and I was like,
Yeah.
woo! I love this. But,
good
this
stuff.
is way too intense for what we're going for. But I definitely want to do this.
I did another one. I did another starter thing like that. But instead of like the whole dead guy on the horse, someone was being like chased after and they were like carrying a crate. And in the crate they had a baby Pegasus, right? And they were like running for their lives, and they run into the party as they're like on their way, and they're just like, you got to make sure nobody gets their hands on this. And as he's like trying to describe what's going on, he gets shot and killed. And then like that's how you intro it, but they don't know what's in the box. So then there's this whole like mystery of like what's in the box and everything. You could have a lot of fun with Theros.
Yeah, I
like this stuff.
definitely interested. Trying out sometime.
Also, I want to do what's that one? I keep saying it all the time. The one where they go to the Feywild.
Oh, yeah.
Wild in the Witchlight. Yeah.
Someone,
Yeah, I want to do that one.
our Cat, Cat Hill, her and her husband, they got Rachel a gift and me a gift for our wedding, and they got me the Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign book. And so I started
Nice.
reading through it, and I was like, this is cool. And they did a lot of really good things in that book as far as formatting goes. Like, there's a whole section about, like, here are all of the NPCs in a nice, easy reference thing with all of their traits and how they're related. And I'm like, thank you!
Right?
Good God, thank you!
And also, I just love the whole premise of that. Like, you don't have to do combat.
There's a
you can do
section of it
combat,
that
but
says,
you don't
like,
have to.
you don't have to. And I'm like, that's amazing!
Like that.
And
Finally.
I love like the whole setup, like of the creatures of the Feywild stealing something from you. And
Yes,
it's not.
it immediately.
It's not like.
Yeah.
It's not like a thing. It's like you lost your ability to be amused by humor
Mhm.
or something like that, and like
It's a
that
role playing thing.
was stolen for you, got turned into some kind of magical item that's hidden in the Feywild, which I just think that's
It's
so
a
neat.
super cool concept. And like they always say like, things that it's like, if you decided to use these things, then this is where you would find it. I'm like, who wouldn't use those things? That's awesome.
Yeah. That's really cool. I'm really excited to look into it. I love their campaign settings. I just am personally not a good person when
It can be
comes to,
overwhelmed,
like,
and it's I can be very bad about like, well, the book says this, so I'm gonna try and do it that way.
I
But you have to
personally
be
really
flexible.
I really like Out of the Abyss, but I know that it's older and it really shows
It's
its age when it comes to the formatting.
It's hard.
And
It's hard to read
it's-
through.
I have read through it, and just the way that it's set up, they're like there's a lot of what ifs that have to happen in order for it to be run smoothly, because it's like there's like a whole part where you're like escaping through the Underdark, and they're like, unless they talk to somebody in the town that knows how to navigate the Underdark, or one of the party knows how, you're gonna be lost, and it's a random chance of what you're gonna find, and it's just like, okay, so the DM has to be like, all right, here's somebody that you can take with you. That
I
knows
mean,
how to
this isn't necessarily spoilers or anything, but like even like in the Icewind Dale book, there's like sections on like what the campaign plots are, who the main players are, where those things happen, some bit of backstory lore, location lore, whatever else. And then Out of the Abyss, I'm fairly certain there's not even a table of contents. It just starts and says like, they wake up in the Underdark, and it's just like, what? What's happening?
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to read. And Travis, you've run Curse of Strahd, it can be a pain in the ass to run
I'm
straight
ready
from
for
the
You know
book.
what's funny? I actually loved reading Curse
I
of
struggled
Strahd.
running through Curse of Strahd just because like they would reference a character and be like, you'll find this character here. But they
Actually-
don't reference the chapter that character first appears, so you don't know who that character is unless you have to like read through the entire book to find them.
Now that is true.
That
One
was
of my
always
biggest
super
complaints about Curse of Strahd is honestly their ambiguity when it came to. We talked about this, like where people are.
Yeah.
They'll say like, "This person's gone," and then you're like,
But who are they? Where are
what,
they? What are they?
what is happening?"
Yeah. It was
I loved reading it, but I also was reading it online, so I just searched for things a
Control
lot.
F.
And I also was going through guides most of the time, so I never actually did the main campaign, to be honest.
Anyway, I guess we should start playing. I'm not gonna anything. We're just gonna jump right into it. So, basically, the last thing that happened is that you guys all found Louis butt naked, handcuffed to his bed.
Oh, that's right. I have no money.
You regrouped, had breakfast, had your morning tea and coffee, and went to the town hall of Bryn Shander. If there's any final things or thoughts you want to say before you get there, now is the time to do it. Otherwise, we would just pick up straight at the town hall.
I think at some point I'm ready for round 2 on Curse of Strahd.
Ventus, what are you talking about? Who's
Are we
strong?
playing? Sorry.
Yes.
Of course we start when I went to go down. Fuck you guys.
It's
Got him.
okay.
Ventus is losing you guys.
Round 2 of Curse of Strahd. Jeez.
I would agree, just so I can actually play it. Anyway,
So,
Yup.
if no other things,
Carson, you're muted.
he's you just,
Keep going.
just
So
leave
you're
it.
still
It's
muted.
not important.
So you head to the town hall of Bryn Shander. You should be able to see the map in Owlbear Rodeo. It is just south of the town center of Bryn Shander, where you had your shootout, basically, with Sefik, the sort of warlock serial killer. Where a lot of the merchant stalls are. This early in the morning, people are just now getting set up, but you make it to the town hall. Has anyone not played Skyrim?
What's Skyrim?
It's
I've
been a
only
man.
played an hour.
Okay, so it may be a little lost on Carson, but
It's too big.
It's
Carson doesn't
that's
play
it's an
games.
open world. It's a little too big. So, the major cities, the Jarls have their longhouses, their keeps, their whatever they are that they stay in. The keep in Morthal, it's very small. There's like little side rooms. So it's basically just like a long hall with a fire running down it with a throne for the Jarl. That's effectively what the Bryn Shander Town Hall is. It's the big city that people come to when they enter into Icewind Dale. So they've got a nice big longhouse for people to visit to. It's a little more formal than, the town hall, which is basically an office in East Haven. But here, you walk in the front door, past a couple guards. It's this long hall. There's a roaring fire going down the middle. There's some steps up to a dais where there's the throne, where you see Speaker Duvessa Shane, who I will send some artwork in Discord in the actual Art Refs channel.
Why were we going here again? Just to ask her, like,
She
what's up?
requested you all.
Okay. Cool. That's
She
cool.
she received a letter from East Haven about you guys, and we just wanted to have a bit of a word. So as you walk in, a couple of the town militia are in here, just kind of watching. But Sheriff Southwell is standing nearby. You see, he's got a bit of a haggard look to him. Maybe had a little bit too much to drink the night before. He's wearing sunglasses inside, so you know.
Been
What's
there.
wrong with that?
But you see Duvessa Shane sitting at her throne. Now, it's not a throne like, oh, it's the queen's throne. It's a chair she's sitting at just to kind of meet and greet with people who are visiting.
Those focals.
Does it have like a lever that makes it go like up and down? You know, like
Yep, has built-in cup holders. It's got a little headrest for her to lean back. Yeah. Now-
She's all set.
She said,
Like that wooden abacus-looking mat thing that you see cab drivers have.
Oh.
Gil, how old are you again?
Gil is 35.
So Duvessa Shane is a little bit younger than you.
boomer alert.
You realize I'm not much younger than that myself, right?
Yeah. So,
Me too, brother. Me too.
oh no! Stop it! No. So Duvessa Shane is a bit, not a whole lot younger than you, but a little bit younger than you, like 29 on the verge of 30. So at your time together, she might have been in her mid 20s, you know. But you now see her as this powerful woman in charge of the town, sitting in her throne, sheriff at her side. And as you walk in, she stands up to greet you all.
Did Gil say that they had some kind of relationship, or was that stated out loud, or did he just
He
like?
alluded that he knew her, but I don't remember if you actually said exactly.
He didn't explicitly say, yeah, we were together, but he
Okay,
did say that she was someone that he cared about very deeply.
Okay.
It was very strongly implied.
Ventus internal dialogue. They are good friends.
Roommates. They were roommates.
They
yeah.
were roommates. Sure.
Oh man. But she stands up,
They were
greets you. She gestures to some of the caretakers of this little longhouse to, get coffee, tea, or mulled wine, whatever you guys want at these early hours. Some danishes or something. Little breakfasty things.
Do you have decaf? I don't need the caffeine.
Eggs Benedict, please.
It keeps me up all night. Just some tea for me.
It's like 8 a.m. Does it keep you up all night at 8 a.m.?
He has
The only
the
thing that
delicate
keeps me awake is
constitution.
the only thing that keeps me awake is the thrill of learning.
Boo.
And he does sit in the front row.
He probably asked
in
the teacher
response
get
to
back the
eggs,
homework.
in response to Eggs Benedict, they say, we don't really have eggs. We do tend for special events do some like caviar fish eggs, but taking away the fish eggs, it'll ruin
you have any
some of the
bagel?
fishing population. Bagels? We can do some bagels.
He'll have a bagel. No caviar.
Ooh.
You know what? Fine. I get it. Yes, every town here is a desolate wasteland. They don't deprived of the simple basic needs of eggs in the morning. I'll take your bagel. Thank you.
Do they have
He gets it.
Egg Benedict underwater?
I was about to say chickens.
Cracking the yolk just like
Yeah.
Wait. We gotta ask. Are they fish eggs? Are they
what-
chickens? Do you have chickens down there?
Listen, I cannot go throughout all the complexities.
Oh, no,
of
no,
a-
I'm just
we
wondering
talk
about
about
the
that one
bread,
thing.
of a bubble. Okay, a bubble. Have you ever heard of a bubble that comes? You can be in a
Chickens.
bubble where there is air and you're like walking
I was just-
around.
I can say I'm familiar with the concept.
Wait, so
You
wait,
I just
I'm confused about the living underwater and then
Yes,
having a bubble
that's-
underwater.
what I was
You-
going
you
to
can
ask
do
is,
both.
do you have livestock down there? You have like chickens and cows? And they live
You've
underwater
never heard of a
as well?
sea cow before?
Well, isn't that a fish? I thought you didn't
Excuse
eat fish.
Yeah, what you have chicken?
Fish eat fish. Don't get me wrong. I'm just on a diet.
I nudge Gil and say, "Why are we here again?"
Yes, and Gil, you look up, sort of a sixth sense going off, and you see that amid all this, Duvessa, she has sat down.
Wait,
and
do you?
she is
Go ahead.
listening, and she's doing the wallflower thing of just like sitting and listening to every word, and not just listening, but evaluating. I'll say judging
God.
sounds harsh. Evaluating.
This is
Where
like
are those
She's about to
bagels?
find out that we're a bunch of fuck ups that just got
this is
lucky.
like so many scenes from It's Always Sunny, where they'll be having a dayed argument conversation, and then it'll pan out to show.
That's
just...
the campaign. It's never sunny in Icewind Dale. Instead of it's
Oh.
always sunny, it's
Oh, we
never
found
sunny.
We've done it.
We've done
Oh,
it,
The Dale
guys.
after tomorrow.
I'm
We
so
need to replace
confused.
the Dale after tomorrow.
It's
with-
Do you
never
sleep-
sunny.
In the bubble as well? Do you walk like do you swim into the bubble specifically for breakfast and then
Where?
come out of the bubble after breakfast?
Do you think they have any butter here for the bagels?
If you take like a short nap, is that a smaller bubble?
Some cream cheese.
To answer your question, Kasimir, it is because Speaker Duvessa has invited us here.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Are the bagels here yet?
Yes.
You said you had a relationship with her?
Did you say that as Louis, or are you asking as Travis?
Oh, that's Louis.
Oh god damn it!
Wait, you had a relationship?
So there's a just, you know, the beat of Duvessa Gil making eye contact.
When if you
I've-
put
There
messages
is so much.
on-
I'm so sorry about
Yes,
this.
and
His eyes
she
right now.
she says, yes, I've asked you here because I received a letter from the Speaker of East Haven, which she pulls out of her doublet. And apparently you all have been doing some kind work around Icewind Dale. 10 towns specifically. And Sheriff Southwell has said that you've done some good things in Bryn Shander here. Some local rumors started spreading that you were just some heroes of East Haven, but it seems that you're heroes all over, and you know, we heard about you taking care of the killings that went on by this Mr. Caltra, or whatever his name was. But we thought that was just a one-off thing, doing it for some coin, but you all have made quite the name of yourself. And she kind of leans back, kind of tapping the note on her leg. And I wanted to sort of see you all with my own eyes, and it just seemed too good to be true. It's rare, if not an impossibility, that we've ever had folks like you in Icewind Dale, and I just wanted to see if it really was about the greater good 10 towns, or if you would, you know, do it for coin, or, you know, disappear when the glory or the excitement ran out. And everyone, I have your things here. Oh, let me check some passive perceptions very quick.
Rip.
I'm really focused on toasting my bagel right now. I'm like mage handing it with one hand, and then like firebolting. I'm like really focused on toasting.
Yeah, so Ventus and Norm.
It's a 9 anyway. Don't worry about
Ventus
it.
and Norm, you do not notice. However,
Okay.
the rest of you, Gil, Wynn, Kasimir, Louis, when she says to the effect of disappear when the glory and excitement runs out, she looks at Gil as she says the full statement, and then looks back to the rest of you, kind of judging up and down, waiting for your response.
Yaks are friendly neighbors to all.
I'm eating my bagel. What? What are we talking about?
I do not meet her gaze, having sensed the nature of this encounter. And I just kind of mumble like, "We do what we can."
I
She
break off a piece of my bagel and I hand it to Kasimir.
she takes the letter, tucks it back into her doublet, and she waves a hand, and you hear a ka-chung behind you, and you look and you see that the militia town's guard, they have like locked up the door to the longhouse so no one can come in or go out for that matter.
Oh.
She leans back. But everyone make an insight check for me. Or whoever would be paying attention to her body language, make an insight check for me.
I'm paying attention now.
Yeah.
Um,
I will say.
I will say,
Yes.
No.
14.
I will obviously say that I am checking her out. Obviously.
Oh, Louis.
Oh, yeah, poor taste, especially in this circumstance.
Nope.
Me.
While everyone is insight checking, can I ask her something?
Sure. You hear the ka-chunk, she leans back.
I lean forward. What's coffee?
No. No.
Did anyone get less than a 10 on that insight check?
Oh, thank goodness no.
Dirty 20.
14.
Okay. So those successes, she is the town leader. She is hosting a secret meeting right now, basically. But you can tell that she's nervous. She is seemingly about to broach a subject that she is uncomfortable talking about. So you don't necessarily feel like she's being hostile or doing anything like subverse. Like she's just nervous and trying to keep things under control. Norm, when you ask that, she says, yes, the Yak tribes may not know. Coffee is something that, you see she kind of lets out a sigh, her shoulders drop. Something that people in power drink in 10 towns. It's something that's imported, and we don't have a large supply of it, so very few people have access.
There's a very lovely blend that comes from Cholt, a Cholton blend of coffee. The monkeys actually pick it up, and what they do is they eat the coffee beans and they poop it out, and then they do make that into the coffee.
You're referencing that cat poop coffee, aren't you?
Well, there's an elephant poop coffee. There's a cat poop coffee. Yeah,
I think
But-
they're like there's some they're like weasel adjacent.
Yeah.
Wait, this is a real thing?
Yeah, so
no, yeah.
coffee beans are the seeds of like a berry, and so animals eat the berry and poop out the seeds, and people go and get the coffee beans
Yeah.
from the poop and sell it.
Yeah, and there's like a species of cat that does it. There's a species of elephant that does it. They're all very expensive,
They're like the
Um,
world's most expensive
but
coffee.
they're very good apparently.
I thought
But
people
anyway,
said-
that's what I was referencing.
Is that why it's
Very
brown?
low.
I don't know. No, that's not why it's brown.
Not all of them
It's because it's
Not all of them
roasted.
have-
That's why you gotta boil it. Right?
All coffee is brown. Alan,
I'm good.
It also doesn't start brown.
who do you think pooped out your Folgers?
Mr. Folger.
Mr. Folger himself. What do you think his job is?
Some old man pooping out coffee.
Yeah.
Get out of my head.
It's like that episode of I am loath to bring that. It's like that episode of Rick and Morty.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Rotten Rick and Morty.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not playing Varian. I don't have the intelligence stats for that reference.
Damn.
I
He just
I hate
he
it.
just said all he does is watch Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, remember Carson and I were hanging out the other day, we were drinking, we watched the Shard compilation, and I'm baffled that there's just a part where Carson said Bazinga several times. Then
That's-
he edited it.
that was one of
Oh,
my
shit.
favorite bits because it was so fast and so quiet and under
Nobody
the radar.
acknowledged it. No one acknowledged it. He's with Bazinga.
I
And
was
then we just
counting on
moved
that.
We just moved on.
And then I had to be like, "Did you say Bazinga?" Oh God.
One of the few shows that I truly actually loathe
It was fine in like the first season, but then it got real cringy very fast.
Mhm.
Anyway, Speaker Duvessa Shane. After
I
lock,
tried coffee.
you drink some coffee. It's so bitter.
Not wanting to be a bad guest, I chug it.
I use prestidigitation on his coffee and make it a little sweeter for him.
That's good. But after she closes the door, puts the note away, she leans back, sort of takes a more relaxed but nervous posture. She says, so Daneth warned me that you would be warned makes it sound negative. He let me know that you would be bringing up concerns regarding our monthly sacrifices. Monthly lottery.
Yeah, that.
Okay. So you had to change your heart, and you decided to change it before we had to pressure you into it?
I have a bit of a story for you. You have the time.
Does this mean you changed your heart before? Are you going to give us
Yes.
a story about... Okay, cool.
I mage hand a chair.
Yes, you get chairs and stools pulled up.
Cool.
She says, from what it seems, she never spoke outright about it, but I tried to pull as many rumors and get people to travel and ask questions. Did Daneth say anything about some followers of the Frostmaiden, some druids, some witches coming to him and convincing him to sacrifice?
Yes.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
I have a vague memory of that. as a
He specifically
process
said
process.
that the reason why they started sacrificing was because Arl followers visited to suggest it.
Yeah. I'm remembering that now that you bring that up.
And she kind of nods, and you can, okay, that's what I've suspected. We had the same thing happen. There were some ice witches, some snow witches who had animals in tow, claiming that they were prophets, followers of the Frostmaiden, and that she spoke through them, and ultimately they needed sacrifices of whatever it may have been. For us, they said flesh, life. For some people, they have said food, other people's heat. I am the head of the Council of Speakers. I'm the final say. But that doesn't necessarily mean I can overpower a lot of the others. And so when some of the other towns have more religious motives, they have higher beliefs in the Frostmaiden and just sort of just gestures openly to her mercy, if this is her mercy, I'm not in that same boat. And I made that clear to these witches. But then things started happening. More animals started prowling out at the outskirts of town, outside the walls. And on the new moons, monsters. Flying, whether yetis or oversized wolves, whatever it may have been, clawing, trying to climb over the walls. And you see at this point she starts getting a bit nervous, and then she says, I assumed it was a fluke. I assumed it was the Dale the Dale just daling.
It do be Dalen.
But apparently I have citizens in Bryn Shander who are a bit more religious than I am, seeing it as a punishment from the Frostmaiden. And then under the eyes of the militia, under my eyes, people started kidnapping other citizens and making their own sacrifices. And whatever we tried to do to stop them, they still managed to do it. So I relented to some of the pressuring of the witches, the monsters, the other speakers. And so we started a raffle, but it wasn't... The original raffle was current prisoners in the jails of Bryn Shander, people who committed murder, people who committed major theft, people who raped and pillaged. They were the ones who were sacrificed, but then we started running out of prisoners to sacrifice. So to keep people from taking it into their own hands, we opened the raffle up to any prisoners. People who stole a loaf of bread, people who committing minor crimes, we had to start putting them into the lottery. And she turns to the sheriff at this point, and eventually the guilt overcame me, so I started using some of the gold in the coffers of Bryn Shander to pay the families. You know, if someone got arrested for a bar fight, and then they got condemned to a sacrifice, that's not fair to their loved ones. So I started to give out gold to their loved ones, to their families, to make sure that they were safe and okay and could make it through. And then people started willingly get arrested, so their family would have money. It started devolving and unraveling. All this to say, I am on board with this turning of the tide. I can't say for certain the rest of 10 towns can, but I'm sure some, not an act of the gods, but an act of something, could show them that this everlasting rime is not a mercy. It's a punishment. It is not something that... I can't imagine something much worse. But this is just one town. You've been to East Haven, and they can be a problem. But there are many other towns to have such a conversation with. People who have faith in Auril, people who believe this is a mercy on the people of 10 towns. But I've thought of two potential options, and from what it seems, you all are creative and insightful and may have your own ideas up your sleeves, but the first being, there are monsters and beasts outside of Bryn Shander, and at the new moon, if they do not receive their fresh sacrifice, they're liable to come into town and do worse things. You can show the people of 10 towns that those beasts are not the Frostmaiden. They are just monsters, that they could be slain. That can maybe convince them. Give them hope. Give them something. The other option, my eyes and ears throughout 10 towns, they may know where those witches live, or at least where they spend a lot of their time. I have no idea who they are, who they represent, what their intentions are with convincing the 10 towns to do all these things, but doing something about them might maybe turn the tide as well. And again, that moment happens where she looks at Gil and she says, but I imagine, slaying a monster might be a little more within our grasp, it seems.
I pat Gil on the shoulder and I go, I think we have someone in our numbers that can handle monster slaying.
Do you think it is possible that the witches are controlling the beasts? I know there are druids that can. I've seen them in my own clan.
And she kind of like sits back and she says, from this seat right here, that makes sense. Could also be circumstance, it could be any number of things. And some rumors even say that the witches are the monsters and beasts themselves. I don't know if that holds any water, but
when is the new moon? How long?
I remember Logan said many sessions ago how long. I don't remember, and I don't feel like going and finding which session it was, at what timestamp it was.
Because wasn't the lottery in East Haven on the new moon?
Yes.
It was 2 weeks at that point.
It was about 2 weeks. You've traveled a couple days. So we'll say about a week, which in Forgotten Realms time is 10 days. Yeah, 10 day.
So from what you've told us, I think that it's agreeable to everyone else. Perhaps we should gather. We should do favors for the people in town to kind of gain their support, build up our own strength in the time being, and then when it grows closer to the new moon, either make some kind of stand in public to gain the people's trust, or we can go find where these druids and witches are. Perhaps they can be reasoned with, perhaps not.
And she will go ahead and tell you, and if you tend to your owlbear rodeo for just a moment, a little Office Space reference there, just a moment. She says that the rumors of the druids, and one of the reasons that these rumors hold any bit of water is that the druids are typically accompanied by, as horrifying as it is, talking and walking plants, talking animals, unnatural, natural things. Skinwalkers, basically, and they have been spotted around Lonelywood, which is one of the furthest towns of the 10 towns.
So maybe not go all the way out there.
You could, you would just, you would pass through, Targos and Tourmaline along the way, and from what I recall, you don't necessarily know what's going on in Targos or Tourmaline, so, there could very well be some other jobs to pick up along the way, but again, just more stuff to do.
I would say that it probably would behoove us to shut up, Travis. I said behoove and Travis went.
Behoove was actually what I was thinking.
That SAT
Would
word.
behoove us.
I think it would probably behoove us to maybe investigate some rumors in the time in that week to see what goes on elsewhere in the Dale before we do deal with whatever happens on the new moon. Perhaps by talking to the people and getting out and about, we can find some more information.
I think that would make sense. However, I mean, so we think these witches are up there, but you said there's monsters out and about. Maybe if we could kill some monsters, that'd be fun.
I think thinning the ranks, whatever monsters, Bryn and Shander, makes sense. Seeking them out on their own, so we don't have to face all of them at once.
Plus, we
That's
could
right.
use the practice if we are going to have to go up against witches and druids.
Okay. Well, yes, it's fine with me. That's what we want to do. I see no problem. I see no flaw in the logic with that.
Well, that's good.
I think that we could probably all use a little bit more practice dealing with the more unsavory residents of the Dale.
Should we ever find ourselves having to travel beyond the safety of the roads of 10 towns, it would be best to be experienced against the creatures of this place.
I agree.
I have some experience with these matters, and I know
Absolutely.
Gil does as well.
Y'all have experience with what?
Monsters.
Monsters? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've certainly read about my fair share of them, but my practical knowledge does leave some to be desired.
I'm a yak.
That
I
you
I pat Norm on the shoulder. Yes, you are, and we
You're
love
more
you
You,
for it.
you indeed are a yak.
We love you for it.
You're more than just a yak.
I give Norm a bagel.
You're more than just a yak. You're a swell guy.
Yeah.
So Duvessa, she sits for a second, and she's thinking, she's taking what you're saying, and eventually Sheriff Southwell, he kind of pipes up, says, are y'all planning on going out ahead of the new moon, like this week, to hunt monsters, or were you planning
What time
on
is it?
Morning.
Why don't we can go today?
Yeah. Well, I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
I know for hunting something could threaten a town this size, we need to do our prep work, but I think getting started as soon as possible makes the most sense. More monsters we have thinned out before the new moon, less we'll have to worry about it once.
He kind of looks at Duvessa and says, no offense, speaker, but I think I know where we need to head, or at least I think I know who might be behind it. The spot where we've been leaving our sacrifices.
That'd be a good place to start.
Well, at the time, there's a cave not too far from there. We initially tried to make it as respectable as possible for the people being sacrificed. We built up a pillar that we tied them to. And then the next time the pillar was gone, and we found it dragged maybe 100, 200 feet or more to a cave not far. Didn't go in and see what it was, but I think that might be the hub of whatever's controlling or leading these monsters.
That makes sense.
Can those of us who maybe have some more experience roughing it out in Icewind Dale maybe make a survival check, something along those lines, or history, to know what think about what kind of creature this might be. Like, big enough to menace a town, and big enough to, consume a human, cave dweller.
And drag a big pillar.
Yeah, strong enough for that.
Yes. So, and if you ask them any questions, I can let.
And not smart
It's-
enough to hide the person from the pillar.
It's the creature. So the first time that whenever they're like, no, we are not sacrificing anyone, and then the town got attacked, they describe a lion, a white lion with white leathery wings, yelling, bellowing in common, yelling at other monsters and animals, commanding them to do things. They never got a full close-up view. They never got a name, never got anything. But they could tell it had like the mane of a lion, the paws, tail, claws of a lion, and wings of like a giant bat or a dragon or some other kind of leathery winged creature. And if you would still like, I would allow you to make a nature check on what kind of creature that is, unless you want to make a guess.
I'll make a nature check. Why
I'll
not?
make a nature check. But I think in my brain I might know. I don't know.
19.
Oh, can I also do a nature check?
I dropped my dice.
Sure.
How was a nat 20, Logan?
That's okay. It could be better.
Eh,
Always gonna blow
Mine.
me out of the water, don't you?
my intelligence is bad.
Literally, intelligence-based checks are the only thing I have. That's it. That's all I have.
I imagine for Gil, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, a lion mane could kind of be mistaken for those kinds of like round fin type things of like that some dragons have. You know, wings, claws, giant tail, things like that. Sounds like almost like a dragon. But the lion's mane and yelling out in common are kind of a unique trait that stuck out to both Kasimir and Ventus. And sort of playing off of each other. Ventus, that describes a manticore. Face of a man, mane of a lion, body of a lion, wings of some kind of like reptilian draconic creature. And then it speaks like a man.
I'll pull out my world atlas that I use as my spell book, and I'll flip it open and start looking around my notes. And I'll go,
Yep.
Could it be manticore native to the Dale?
And Kasimir, immediately you know what that is. It's a manticore. But it's an Icewind Dale manticore. It has sort of the white fur of, polar bears, crag cats, the Arctic foxes, everything like that. The white mane, the face of a man. But it has been twisted by some of the everlasting Rime magic. So instead of the normal sort of keratin spikes on the tail, they are massive shards of ice. Instead of teeth, it's shards of ice. And not necessarily instead of fur, but almost like along with fur. There's like a carapace or an exoskeleton of ice that moves with it, like a fine set of armor. So it's basically like Manticore plus in Icewind Dale.
Yeah, I exhale deeply and go,
I've seen what you're talking about. Just once. I've seen it take out a dire boar. 10 feet tall, easy.
And there are multiple of these?
Duvessa and the sheriff will say, we've only seen one, but it has a primal connection with the other beasts and monsters of Icewind Dale. It's like a commander, a captain. the other horrors out there in the snow.
It's not gonna be an easy fight, I can tell you that. Ugh. I think might be able to do it.
With that, I need to pee. Need to toilet.
I do too.
So we'll take a little quick break, and then we'll do a little bit of a, not necessarily a time skip, but we'll figure out what the next step is. And then,
We skipped to a month later. We've already killed all the monsters. We made the the manticore into a fabulous, it's like big cape and some some accoutrement.
Yep. It's easy.
It's only like
Arl's defeated. The campaign's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, we've hit level 15.
So we'll take a little break and then figure out what's next. And I need to pee.
Agency.
I literally just
the true
texted
fantasy.
Nathan. I just texted Nathan and I was like, I'm playing an anarchist character. Can you send me some literature so I can read up and understand
Have
what
you
I'm
guys
talking
watched? No spoilers. Tread lightly. Newest season of Stranger Things.
Nope.
Yeah.
Because I don't like popular things.
Eddie, the leader of their D&D group.
Uh-huh.
Like the first scene that Eddie appeared, like Eddie was, being weird and doing Eddie things, but then Eddie smiled, and it was something about the way he smiled and the way he acted. I was like, Rachel, that looks like Nathan. And Rachel's like, oh my god, it does, because like Eddie has like the big brown eyes, the big infectious smile, bright smile, and like the kind of like like high energy. And I was like,
Love Nathan.
that's Nathan right there.
We just need to get Nathan to get bangs. And
Nathan needs like the frizzy bang cut.
yeah. Yeah, I really liked Eddie's character.
I love Eddie. We're about halfway through, I think. So again, no spoilers, but yeah, I am surprised at how much I love Eddie. He's so weird. I love him.
I need to catch up. Considering how much Xavier's been talking about it recently, I need to watch
Oh, yeah.
past episode 2 of season 2 is where I'm at.
You
Bro, I haven't
what?
even finished season 1. I haven't even watched season 1.
Okay,
Season 1's great. I did
season
enjoy
1
season
is
1.
peak television.
I'm about to poop my pants.
Carson,
You
were
haven't
we-
seen season 1?
Were we talking about this the other day, Carson? I feel like we were.
Maybe
I feel like we talked about this briefly last time.
we need. We'll sit down and watch season 1 one of these days.
Okay.
I like whenever it's like season 1 and 2 came out, I was like, yep, I love this show. It's great. I was on the bandwagon. I was like, yep, I get it. But I wasn't, I was still kind of doing a little bit of a hipster thing of like, I'm not going to make it my personality. I'm not going to be buying Stranger Things t-shirts. I'm not, doing crazy things like that. But then season 3 came out and I was like, yeah, I'll sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
I literally binged the full season in one night. Like, it was a school night in college. It was my senior year. I shouldn't have done that. It fucked up my life for like 3 weeks because of that lack
Yeah.
of sleep. But it was
Important thing.
awesome.
Something before we get started, something I thought of. Steven and I were talking about this the other day is that I like watching things, but I like watching things with other people. If you guys ever just want to watch TV shows like that and just like hang out and watch something, I want to do that.
We can do that.
I feel like Carson and I would be really annoying to watch it with because I have a lot of thoughts about like, ooh, I like what they
I
did
know,
with this shot
you
here.
You can ask Carson when we watch stuff. I talk because
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on?
See, Rachel does that. Carson,
What?
we got high. Yeah, you,
What?
you what? Wait,
fuck?
what?
No, and the thing is,
Fuck.
like, I was ruined by Mystery Science
Love you,
Theater
Reg.
3000. That where like I feel the need to comment on things that I watch, which I don't do that obviously when we go see movies in real life, like
Yeah.
because that's
That
not
would
nice.
be hilarious.
I mean, I do when I'm sitting next to Carson because I remember whenever we went to see Doctor Strange, I was leaning over to Steven like the entire time, just feeling like,
No, when we went to see Sonic 2, there was one part where like There's a solid 5 minutes where Sonic is not on screen. The plot is not being developed. It's a fucking non sequitur. And I just leaned over to Austin and I went, "Isn't this supposed to be a Sonic movie?"
Oh no. So what's happening?
I'm pretty sure Alan said the same thing. Alan leaned to me and said the same thing.
Wait, Alan, remind me, what's your dog's name in Icewind Dale? Your husky?
Oh, James Marsden. Yeah.
That was the funniest part of hearing you guys recap the Sonic movie, is that you always said James Morrison's character. You never said the
I don't know.
Donut Lord. I don't remember what his real name is.
What, is it Dad?
Tom something.
Selick.
Oh, it is Tom.
Yeah, Tom DeLong.
Of course it's Tom.
It's like Tom. It's like Tom, some basic white name. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Is Sonic good?
The movie was better than it should be. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that's a good
so much
classification.
fun.
What are we doing in
Name
D&D
of
right now? I don't.
James
So I feel weird proceeding
Marsden's
without Austin because this is kind
Oh.
of his
character
lady in a way.
in D&D.
Fair enough. Fair
But
enough, fair
more or less, besides maybe having a sidebar with Gil, she has not much else to say to you besides, basically she's on your side. She's just trying to be a little more political about it and trying to still do things by the law. Unless things go differently, as of right now, the lottery is still in place. Everything is still as normal, but basically what happened behind those closed and locked doors happened behind those doors and nothing else. So you are free to go about whatever else. If you have questions, Sheriff Southwell will help you out.
I want to talk to her.
You want to talk to her, okay?
Oh, his name is Wachowski.
Which
His name is Tom Wachowski. Sorry.
Mike Wazowski.
Also, I was looking that up, and one of the suggested things was, what is the name of the blue hedgehog in Sonic the Hedgehog? I
enough.
just needed to share that. Continue.
Fair enough. Who remembers that shit? you know?
Greg.
Speedy Craig.
Speedy John.
I'm ugly Sonic.
Hey,
The
my
fact
name.
that they got Tim Robinson to do that voice. I haven't even seen the movie.
Same,
but
I've only seen the
The
clip.
fact
of
it was
that.
Tim Robinson. Anyway,
But
Alan, you go
yes,
up to her.
Norm, you wanted to speak with Duvessa Shane. You see, you kind of approach her as things are winding up, and she definitely has sort of doffed her very formal meeting persona a bit. She says, "Yes, Norm was it? How can I help you? What do you need?"
I'm Norm.
Yes, yes, we met. Yes,
I'm a yak.
I see that. Yes, tribes not far from here, right?
Right. We're. I just point that away.
Yeah, and you're a diplomat?
Ambassador.
Oh, an ambassador. For the Yak clans, what are they hoping to form? Trade lines, or
We've always been neighbors.
that's true? Are you wanting to
Be friends.
friends? So are you wanting to relocate some of your Yaks here? Would you you want to purchase a hall, a property, a guild?
and while I'm watching this happen, I just look at Kasimir and I go, so in Neverwinter, sometimes trading carts will crash into each other and spill the contents on the street, and also there's always a moment right before you go, oh, they're going to crash. That's what this conversation is like watching this. But
Yeah.
it doesn't stop.
Yeah,
It
and
doesn't quite crash.
And even low wisdom folks, except maybe for Norm, because he's like entrenched in this conversation. You can see the two, they're in very separate worlds. She is a politician, she is the leader, she is completely engulfed in the political relationships of Bryn Shander. And then she basically has an ambassador. He came up to her and said, I am an ambassador for the Yak people. She's like, great, we're going to establish trade. They're going to have a little outpost here. We're going to do all sorts of things. And he straight up says, do you want to be friends? And she's not there's definitely lack of...
Norm, I think it's time. We need to go.
I'll be there.
Yeah, and she kind of like when she says, you want to be friends? Are you intending on becoming an 11th town? Here in Icewind Dale, you could form your own little settlement.
11 town just doesn't really ring off the tongue as much.
1 town. 1 2 town.
11 town.
11. What are the
Yeah.
I just know your tribes, but what are your are you weavers? Are you carpenters? What do you do? What is your what would your main export be?
I'm a blacksmith.
Oh, you're a blacksmith. You might have a little trouble completing with the black iron blades, but you might not have
I
that
don't
much
think that's
trouble.
true.
Yeah, you might not have that much trouble competing with them. But we could always use plenty of blacksmiths. Is that a sort of a tribe-wide cultural thing, or?
We're strong.
Oh, you're strong. Are you more mercenaries?
I like how over time she's starting to speak slower. Like,
Are you? Wait.
And we're fun.
You're
Don't-
fun. And at that point, you can see just her eyebrows kind of like relax for a second. She goes, "You're fun. That's wonderful. We would love to have you visiting here in Bryn, Shander. We could
Has
always
she tried to catch
more fun."
anyone's eye with like look yet?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I
Because
imagine
at
we're all
this-
just like standing by the door,
Yeah,
we're, like
at
ready
this
to
point
leave.
she's
and
like
we're like,
dismissed you guys, and this is still happening.
What do you like to trade?
Oh, we all the 10 towns like mead. We're always in need of tools and weapons.
Tools.
Tools, yes.
cart crash, just over and over.
I
Won't stop.
I gesture to the hook part of my bill hook, and I just
You want me to just pull him?
I think you should actually,
Alright.
because I'd
And-
rather you stab me with that than continue watching this unfold.
And
Well-
at this point, by the time you go to grab your hook and like loop Norm, you can see that her normal politician charisma is starting to break down because she's being confronted with something so outlandish. And just as you're beginning to hook Norm, she says, "So, do yaks, do they make milk? I don't... Do you milk each other?"
Yeah.
You want our milk?
And you get sort of pulled away.
When he gets pulled away, I'll go up to her and I'll go, I apologize. I will I will try and help our friend Norm on the finer points of diplomacy. He's not quite used to it yet, but he's a good sort, I can say that.
I put some jerky in Norm's hand and just pat him and go, "You did great."
Oh my god, you just dog treated him. But she says, she's like, I've heard stories about the yak folk, and they don't come into town almost ever, so I assumed a bit awkward, but if you ever head back that way, let them know. We would love to establish some trade routes and whatever else.
I just work here. I have no idea about the relations of this place.
I walk to the up to the police chief.
Yep.
And I say, "Where's your mail?"
The bill hook.
Where do we receive our mail, or where do we keep it?
I need the mail.
You need the mail.
A letter.
To whom?
Home.
Oh, your tribe. That might be a little difficult. I mean, sending mail within 10 towns is fairly easy. You just send it with a trusted person, they make the delivery themselves. But sending it outside of 10 towns, you need a trusted person who frequently exits 10 towns to visit outside locations.
Norm, I can ask Sir Zeph to send a letter for you if you'd like, if it's closer by.
I think. Yeah.
Just have to give him some.
Like far away, right?
Well, I think we established, if you want to look at Albert Rodeo, we can kind of agree on something here. Don't mind me heavily flipping through the Icewind Dale book. So
I could have sworn they were closer.
Austin, pop quiz. What tribe are you a part of?
Akannathi.
It's
the Sky Tower.
Sky Tower. Yeah, so unfortunately, if you're looking at Albert Rodeo, I'm gonna make my little laser.
We're friends with the Funlaka.
Yeah, you're pretty far east. I'm gonna paint kind of a orange spleck somewhere on the screen.
Spleck?
So
Is that a technical term?
yeah, you're kind of that's opaque. Let me not make that opaque. There it is.
Oh, right side.
See that squiggly circle I'm making?
Yeah.
That's the rough area you are. So it's pretty far away, and
Oh, that's far.
almost no one would be able to deliver a letter that far, except for magical means or for people who are frequent, like outlanders.
I go back to the police chief.
Yes, Norm?
Do you have a magical friend?
No.
He
Okay.
looks sadly.
You do though.
Nor has that. Oh shit! Yeah. Look up. And whips around to the group. I need magic.
Would I be able to do that? Would Zeph be able to do that?
So, I'm gonna be frank with you.
I thought you were Logan.
All right, that's it for tonight, guys. We'll see you next time.
His ass.
Boo.
Ba-da.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. That's still one of Rachel's favorite memes.
It's such a good meme.
I don't know what that is.
The winner.
So that's it's a long way, generally by foot, and by flying, it's not as long, but it's still fairly dangerous.
Yeah.
For Zeph, it's just a matter of some dice rolls, to be honest, if he can survive that far.
What if it was? What if he had a form better suiting the weather, that was not flying, but was a land traversal type thing?
Potentially better, but even then, and your, survivalist companions can tell you the same things like wolves and bears, and you encountered harpies and all sorts of stuff. They can be a potential predator, so it would still. Whereas if he were just straight up flying, it would almost be a little bit more of a straight roll. But if he was on the ground in the snow and, playing the role of like a white rabbit or an Arctic fox or something, could have a better chance at some stealth rolls to survive that far. So, I can let you get creative with that kind of thing, but it would still kind of come down to a couple.
We'll
of
talk
dice
about
rolls.
it.
Yeah.
Austin wanted to do a thing, but we'll talk about it.
Oh, I was just gonna apologize because I had something going on, but also what did I miss?
Oh, nothing.
Incredible.
Truly nothing.
Just Norm being awkward. Got it.
Yes, Norm being awkward for a time.
Rad.
And I did say that at some point, whether now, whether later, you are free to talk to Duvessa. But as you guys are kind of making your way out, she's dismissed you. She will probably try to pull you to the side for just a brief moment. And in, honestly, just the most adult, matured way, just say, like, you've changed.
So have you.
If you'd like to catch up, I'm glad to. It seems as though you have your hands full. If you have some free time, feel free to stop by. But,
He's free now.
Norm, they're having a private conversation. This is not about us.
My man's a wingman.
Wingman Norm, the best
the
timeline.
bill hook is the new meme.
yeah, Bill.
Bill Hook just
When you
Anytime.
I'm gonna really push the bill hook away and be like, no. This is the
Now I'm imagining like a real
vaudeville crook.
Yeah, it's the vaudeville. crook.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah,
I'm imagining is like a super meta thing, like in the last session with when Louis was getting down and dirty with that tiefling, like the black started to go across the screen as it faded to black, but then the bill hook grabs the black and pulls it back and opens it up.
No, the black comes in, it's just Kasimir walking, like pulling in. He goes, "Listen, you don't want to see what's going on right now."
Yeah.
Casimir is
real
the
gross.
fade to black.
Look,
It's real
You
icky.
want to look at it? You don't want to see it.
I saw it one time and I threw up for 2
Subscribe to
straight
Louis'
days.
OnlyFans.
How do you think I lost this eye?
I saw Louis' nether regions.
How Wynn survived, no one will know.
carefully.
He kept his eye closed the whole time.
He
Easy.
kept his eyes closed. Oh Jesus! But
Ark of the
basically,
Covenant.
Gil, no animosity, no aggression. Just like if you feel like catching up, we could catch up. But thank you for what you're doing, and good luck to you.
Gil is going to reach into his various furs and pull out the little figurine he carved in the likeness of Enkidu,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just going to place it in her hand, and he's going to say, "Perhaps when we are done making a bit of a difference, we can get that catching up. But before I leave this place, and in case I don't come back to it, I want to say that I am sorry. I understand a bit better now the weight of responsibility that you must possess. My arguments with the town speaker in East Haven gave me a bit more perspective. And while I still hold firmly to my beliefs, I am sorry for the way that I treated you when trying to communicate that with you. And I will say that I am glad you've had a change of heart about the sacrifices. I didn't want to have that argument again, to be honest. But I would. Because I'm not going to compromise what I believe. But I said I would stand beside you no matter what. I would support you no matter what. But that doesn't necessarily mean I would compromise my beliefs, and I did not do a good job of explaining that before. So.
He tucks a little figurine into one of her pockets. I'll think on that apology. I'll think on my forgiveness. Soon. And you can get a sense there's no animosity. He just needs to think about it. But she kind of, she takes the little token and she gives you like a nod. keep me updated. Let me know what happens.
Oh. And hopefully I will see you soon.
Button continues on to some of her private chambers, and lets you guys go about your business.
I will go
As-
rejoin the group.
Yeah, as you will, or you won't.
I'm going to rejoin you guys.
Okay. I thought you were like avoiding us.
No.
I'll just say, so I did not realize that y'all were continuing to be a thing. I thought X's were staying X. I apologize. I was laying out just slightly. I was trying to get some feelers out there. I did not realize that you were still going. I apologize, my friend.
There it
I
is.
don't think that. I don't.
There it is.
There it is.
I don't think that needed to be said. I think that
Louis. You are an interesting character. It's almost endearing sometimes.
almost.
I appreciate the apology, but nonetheless, it has been a while, and I am not sure if we are actually still would consider ourselves together. But
I feel as though, based off of the general air, that it feels like there's something still there. You both seem to still have feelings of sorts.
we just have a lot to talk about. That's all.
Okay, yeah.
So
You
I
let me.
don't know. It may not be my place to say, but if you ever do desire to win her back, a well-composed sonnet always does wonders for endearing and winning your place in a woman's heart.
It's just two ends of the
Unfortunately-
spectrum, I feel like, between these two.
And I just,
unfortunately, I'm not much of a wordsmith,
I wouldn't have mentioned it if I wasn't willing to offer my help.
but I have my ways.
I would just like to say that a good way to a woman's heart is just
I don't like where this is going. I walk away.
Yeah, so I have an interjection, a question to ask.
respectful
Oh
decorum.
no. no.
Respectful decorum. I'm proud of you. That's good. I was gonna interject and ask for Win, because I know about some of Win's history. What is Win thinking during all of this when they're like, here's how you would win her back? Here through sonnets, through taste of the court. What is Win's perspective of getting the girl back? I think you're muted.
What do you mean getting her back? Is she not already just madly in love with you? Is that not everyone that you run into? This is not. No. Just me. Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Not everyone can be.
I-
so fantastic.
I would deeply like to write a book about the things that happen inside of your brain, my friend.
You know what?
be a
I-
wallflower in the machinations of Win's mind.
I have to say, when I'm not madly in love with you, and
There's a decent bit of lust, though.
I mean, how could you not?
Oh God.
I
We need to stay longer. so you
can I leave?
Yeah, the fucking black starts being dragged by the bill hook across the screen.
It's just Gil's like, wait, no, this one's good. This one's good. We're gonna egg him on.
Listen, the last time I chose my last partner, I believe there were 25 contestants. And
Is this
then
the Emperor's New Groove?
and then we had every week I would give one of them a rose. I would give them roses.
It's
and
the
then some of them I
no,
would
the
put in-
Bachelor.
Yeah.
Oh, it's worse.
Wait, did you guys not get that immediately?
No.
No. No.
I thought it was something different.
All right, that's canon. That's how spouses are
I like-
chosen in Wind's home kingdom under the sea.
I like the Emperor's New Groove reference better.
So, my understanding from what you guys kind of discussed was that you were going to spend some time around Bryn Shander picking up some rumors, just kind of getting a lay of the land, figuring out what people are leaning toward, and also hunting monsters outside of town. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
As far as rumors go, basically, what Duvessa said was correct. She's fairly in tune with her people. They're a little bit more religious, makes it sound fanatical in regards to the sacrifices and the mercy of Arl. It's almost more superstitious. Like, there's like, well, we just need to do this, or or whatever else. But because you didn't hear this as much in East Haven, but in Bryn Shander, there's sort of some bite to the bark. If they don't do it, then monsters will attack the town. The town has walls for a reason, to protect themselves. So there's a little bit more justification to their problem.
Can we get specific details about the monsters that have attacked in the past, besides the stuff we know about the Manticore?
Yeah, so Manticore crag cats, which Gil, Kasimir, Louis have some very close familiarity with. These sort of big feline-esque creatures that roam the cliffs and mountains of Icewind Dale.
I want round two, motherfucker.
You might.
Whenever they mention crag cats, and I go, I've read about those actually. They're fascinating. They hunt in packs, and apparently very vicious hunters.
Yep.
I don't think that's the case. Actually, you should rewrite those books. They were quite cuddly.
Yeah. Okay. But it's
Mr. I died.
I do believe he was unconscious for most of that.
I believe he was dead. For
I didn't actually get to do anything.
Yeah,
a lot of what
We remember.
Yes.
a lot of what people describe are familiar animals, but ramped up to an icy dire degree. So wolves, but these big, oversized, white dire wolves with glowing blue eyes. Oh Jesus! Smack my mic.
Smack that, Mike.
Smack that mic.
It's a dire wolf. It's like a wolf, but only dire.
Yeah, so large birds, but with these white feathers, but icy beaks and glowing blue eyes. It's a lot of fairly natural things, but just ramped up to an unnatural, dire degree. In the case of the Manticore, though, it's sort of unique in that it is this monster. It's not even just a dire animal. It is a monster. It is an amalgamation of horrible things. It is fairly unnatural, so to speak. And so, like, you sort of learn that, where you just were in those caves with the harpies, the water elemental, the hag, the giant skeleton. It's not that degree. It's things that are monsters to normal people, which are animals just ramped up to a scary degree. Or just animals that are more hostile than they normally are. Like, wolves tend to stray away from people in most circumstances, but in strange supernatural circumstances, wolves might go out of their way to attack people. So it's...
Or if, they're starving because it's been eternal winter for 5 years.
Exactly. So it's... When they say monsters and beasts, it's not, dragons and wargs and horrible underground demons. It's normal things that have just been ramped up. And, that's scary to normal people. But not to adventurers. Mostly.
Well, it's still a little scary.
It's still a little scary.
It's a fucking Manticore we're talking about here.
So, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go?
So, at this point, we're sort of in a timey-wimey kind of position. We can skip ahead and do something else. We can either just skip ahead and you go to the sacrificial site where the beasts apparently claim their sacrifice on behalf of Arl, or you can head to another town. As far as rumors go, everyone's got a rumor up their sleeve to tell you. It may not be true, may be true. It may just be a little bit of monster slaying, rats in the basement, missing person, whatever it might be. But we're in a little bit of a limbo here for you to kind of skip ahead and do whatever you guys like.
I wanna buy some nets
You can definitely buy some nets.
and some jars
And some
to put the
jars?
nets- to put the nets in.
Jars and nets to put in the jars.
Interesting.
Can I ask why?
Well, where else
then
are
I
you gonna
wanna-
put your nets?
Because then I want to put oil in them.
Oh.
I love how
Oh.
fast that came together. We were like,
Oh.
jars? Nets? What could that be? And you said oil, and then we all like, oh. Oh, no. Give me 1 second to look at the cost of some things, and I will kind of
Those
give you.
10 pounds glass making industry.
It's actually superb. No, it's
Oh,
probably not great. It's probably a lot of shipped things.
yeah. Their biggest export is actually fancy wine glasses.
How many... Okay. Assuming you are going to combine all these things into a singular weapon, how many of each thing are you wanting? Of these Molotov device type things?
Can I make like 3 or 4 nets in jars?
Here's a better way to say this. It's going to cost you 2 gold per thing.
Cool.
So however many things you want to make, 2 gold per. And then just spending time to put them together, which will be very easy to do.
I'll get 5.
Go for it, man.
Um,
I'm horrified. This is gonna bite me in the ass in like 40 sessions. You're fighting Arl the Frostmaiden, and you pull out one of these fucking jars. You're muted, Carson.
All of the jars strung together. Just. Is there an apothecary in town?
Maybe not like full apothecary, but someone who dabbles, has, some supplies.
I would be interested, because I've been reading this manga that features the Ainu people, like the indigenous people of Japan, pretty heavily, and apparently they would hunt with like specially crafted poisons a lot of the time to take down bigger game, like bears or wolves. Could I fashion some kind of poison, maybe? Are there any like poisonous herbs, or maybe relatively common creatures with venom?
Do you have familiarity, proficiency with poisoners stuff?
I don't, but if I were looking to get into the game, so to say.
So, there would definitely be people who would dabble in that kind of thing. If you wanted to make things yourself, of course you would need a poisoner's kit. You would need to know some semblance of what you're doing. Of course, you can get guidance and whatever else from professionals. But there are people who kind of dabble. And effectively, if you bring this up to some herbalists, some people who are familiar with different plants in the region, different oils, they have effectively combined poison and alchemist fire, which essentially acts as a poison that just explodes from the inside out. Which, of course, they sell for an extremely high markup to the militia, whoever's going to be fighting these icy beasts. But that is a thing that has been discovered and tampered with. So you could either buy that outright, or you could try your own hand at making it. But either way, it's going to cost you a pretty gold piece.
How many pretty gold pieces?
You're in Bryn, Shander, so they're doing okay. Well, let me double check the cost of just standard poison.
Alchemist Fire is pretty expensive.
Alchemist Fire is 50 gold. Poison is 100, so it kind of meets in the middle at 75 gold.
How much did we get from the gems and all that?
Just
How much is a poisoner's kit?
Did you post how much we got from that?
We
like
have
it?
3 extra 500 gold gems.
Because we all got one each.
Poisoner's
We have
Kit
the-
is 50 gold.
I never turned in my. Oh yeah, I did, because I got armor. That's right.
50
How-
gold.
And you can
How much were those gems worth? Again,
500.
Sorry. Oh, cool. Sorry. Go ahead.
We have 3 extras we have not used.
And you can still craft using the Poisoner's Kit. You just don't get to add your proficiency bonus, depending on, how you're going about making the poison.
Okay. Yeah. Do I need to mechanically cash in my gem to get 500 gold pieces?
In Bryn Shander, it's fine, because Bryn Shander is a cosmopolitan town as far as 10 towns go. So basically, it's, they'll give you change kind of thing. So it's fairly easy to do.
Okay. Cool. Will there be any concerns carrying this much money versus 1 gem on me? Could I give them my 500 gold gem and they give me a poisoner's kit and a 450 gold gem back?
They just go ding ding ding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they hammer off a couple bits of
Yeah, a perfectly cut gem.
How about this?
Okay.
If weight is a concern, they'll give you quote unquote change, but it'll sort of be in smaller, rougher gems. So instead of being like a single 450 gold piece gem or multiple 50 gold piece gems, it's like, yeah, here's a bunch of shitty gems that kind of amount to 450 gold. So it definitely doesn't weigh as much as full 450 gold.
Okay, so I
Or
can
doesn't
just
take
put
as much
450,
volume.
450 gold pieces worth of gems.
Yeah, mixed gems. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, as a note, while we're discussing this, I can never remember it. When's a cleric? Yeah.
Yes.
How about we say that Win got 1 gem that's worth that much? That's a diamond. And another gem for whatever else.
Oh, we don't even have to worry about that yet. He can't do that anyway.
Oh, true. Well, I would still like to do that anyway.
What
Because
an
I know.
affront to his skills. Just like, you can't do that anyway.
Mechanically, no, he can't.
It's just,
We ain't level 5.
it's just funny.
I'll buy a poisoner's kit
Okay.
that way.
And if you want to end up making that type of poison, that'll be 37 gold worth of supplies. It's half of the sellable cost of the item.
37 gold?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
So-
basically what we'll
okay.
say is like, during a long rest or something, you try to make it.
Cool. Yeah,
will
I'll do that.
Sorry.
You could.
I will also say I'm using about 20 gold pieces to resupply on things.
Um, did
Silk, a rope, a whip, a paddle, and some other things.
Oh, I wonder what that could be.
there remind me there's not like a magic shop in this town, even if it's big,
Correct. Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, and Jacob, if you wish, you have the time and gold pieces to inscribe that newly made spell into your spellbook if you wish.
I will do that. And I'm gonna go ahead and start. Did we? I don't remember. Did you say can I work on one that's a higher level than I can cast? Just go ahead and like work on the theory of it, not go ahead and work on it, even if I can't
Yes.
put it in a spell book.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to start. I'm going to use some of my money and resources to start working on a 3rd level spell. That essentially what I want it to do, and we can work out the finer details of this later. But it's essentially kind of creating arcane weapons from scratch, kind of like Shadow Blade, but
I think we talked about
they're
that.
little. Yeah, we talked about it, but different configurations that do different
Mhm.
things, and 3rd level spell. And like I said, finer details we can work out later. But I'm going to start working on that kind of how to make weapons out of magic that can be used to kind of like defend allies and also make myself a little more formidable in hand-to-hand combat. And while I start working on this, at some point while we're resting, I will ask Kasimir to if I can observe how he fights with his bill hook, kind of like I did with Gil.
Oh.
Yeah, I can run through a few maneuvers for you, I suppose. I mean, I never got formally trained with the thing, but
I think you do well enough.
well, I'm still alive right now, so I'd say I did all right. What do you want me to do?
I just how would you hold that? Like if you were squaring up and about to engage someone in combat.
No, you did that. Logan.
Twirling it like a majorette's baton.
Yeah.
Yeah, just reminded me of the vanilla envelope shirt.
Yeah, I assume a defensive stance.
Fascinating. And I like write it down, and I'm like an artist, like going at different angles and
Yeah.
writing.
I can't wait for Ventus to finish the spell, and he casts it for the first time, and his arms grow like an extra 4 feet.
That would be actually
and
fucking awesome.
while I'm asking Duder, I will also ask to kind of observe Win how he fights with like a shield in one hand and then some kind of weapon in the other, which I'm sure Win will be fine with me observing him.
Drawing.
Oh my gosh, we can... It's bonding. Prince bonding. I always wanted to bond with another prince. Okay, so first you hold it like this, and then you hold the sword like this, and then you just kind of wave it around, and then
no.
eventually something will get hit by it.
Oh no.
Sometimes it hurts when you do hit something with your sword. People don't tell you about that. When you hit something with your sword, it kind of reverberates a little bit, and it kind of hurts. So, just gotta be
Interesting.
fair with that. And also, if
writing
something
that
hits your
down.
shield, it'll also hurt your arm too. I've been bruised
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah,
Ooh.
when the type of motherfucker to say "ah wee."
That is my battle cry.
Awee!
Logan,
These are
in an attempt to make it a little more concise, I just texted it to or messaged it to you on Discord.
okay.
I'm just gonna get like, hang on, how much is okay? It's 50 feet per. I'm gonna get like 200 extra feet of rope.
I trust
Actually,
yeah, use the player's handbook adventure gear. I
I'll-
trust you to subtract the appropriate.
But I
common
have a
stuff.
very specific idea in mind.
And
So,
you'll have time to sort of craft and tinker and make things as you wish. So the raw materials are available here in Bryn Shander.
Logan, I guess actually no, I need to wait for Jacob Todd to come back. Is it possible for me to create something with a spell in it with someone else's help?
What? Like artificer putting magic into a thing kind of stuff?
Mm-hmm. Magic item kind of thing.
That's the kind of thing that would take like, months and weeks of work to do.
That's fine. Wait, so okay, interesting. Okay.
So, and by that I mean there would be very little nights in the bar kind of thing. It would be you sitting and working, no one night stands, stuff like that.
I'm gonna give me a second.
Because it kind of assumes that you're spending the downtime portion of each long rest working, not
Okay.
burning.
Yeah. I'm gonna start working on.
That's a commitment.
It is a commitment. I'm gonna start working on a rope of entanglement.
Oh no.
I'm gonna use the silk rope and try to weave in entangle the spell that I know into it.
Ayo.
hey, yo. So,
Logan, why do you look so proud and disappointed at the same time?
Travis, you know exactly why.
I don't know why you're asking that question,
That's a
Travis.
stupid question. So, any other sort of downtime preparatory things as you meander around Bryn Shander?
Nope.
Doesn't have a whole lot to do with preparation, but just in passing, when I have a minute with Gil, just like thinking about the conversation earlier, I just is kind of almost absent-mindedly say like,
my people, when one was caught in another, they'd fashion something out of the bones of a kill. I don't know if that'll help, but
I appreciate the advice.
awesome.
My people are similar in some ways and different in others. Wouldn't necessarily fashion things out of bone from our kills, but we make use of old parts. We use the bones to make knives, trinkets, we hang trophies, we use the furs and the hides to make clothes. It's very utilitarian, and that is almost seen as part of the courtship process in my culture as well. Similar thing, a little different, but similar. No, like I said before, we just need to talk more. We have things that we need to discuss and that we need to sort out amongst ourselves. But honestly, after what she said to us today, I think the main problem that I had is more or less resolved. I grew angry with her over the fact that they had decided to take the route of sacrificing people. And
Understandable.
I acted about the same way I did when we first talked about it in East Haven.
Yeah.
Angry, raised my voice, I lost my temper. It was not a pretty conversation, nor is it a way that you should act towards someone that you love. So,
I get that, but Got a fire burning in you. Justice, helping people. That's good. Don't let this forever winter put it out.
It's not the fire going out that I am worried about. It's the fire taking over, is what I am worried about.
Well, at
And you're
least you
worried.
die warm.
Ah, but if that is the case, I would not be the only one dying warm. And that is not what I want. What is a weight that I bear? And I will continue to bear until I find the solution. I think I am on the right path. But
You no longer have to bear it alone.
I know. I honestly never really did have to bear it alone. It just always felt like I did. Felt like it was a pride thing. Personal challenge which you have to overcome. But I forgot the fact that I come from a culture where we uplift each other. We work together. It is a communal effort. I mean, my clan helped me raise my daughter as a whole unit. It wasn't just me.
You have a daughter.
Ah, yes, I do. She's actually quite young, just an adult.
What's her name?
Her name is Enuma, and she gave me this axe. And I pat the axe that I hardly ever pull out of the hook. She gave me this axe the day that the clan elder exiled me. Sent me away. It was her first major craft. She chose the path of a blacksmith because she was given that choice. She only had one parent she knew of, so she was given the choice of what she wanted to be, and she decided to be a blacksmith. And she made this axe and was going to give it to me anyway, and figured she didn't give it to me by the time I walked out of those gates. She might never. So,
Well,
I miss her dearly. I hope to see her again, but I don't know if I will.
I imagine it's a poor consolation. But it looks like she has quite a talent for it.
She does.
You should be proud.
I always am. I always will be. Hopefully she is still proud of me too.
I'm sure she is. And you know, if an old bastard like me can dream about seeing Icewind Dale like it was, seeing maybe even a warm day, you can dream of seeing your daughter again.
A warm day would be nice, wouldn't it?
Just one warm day before I die. That's all I want.
And even if all this oral business does not bring a warm day to Icewind Dale, we can go find a warm day. Just one.
Yeah, girl. I think I'd like that.
I think it would be nice to see what the world is like outside of the mountains and glaciers too. But we'll get there. In time.
I'll keep it in my dreams.
I forgot that we were playing D&D for a hot minute, and I was just sitting vibing and listening like it was a goddamn audiobook. I'm just sitting here just like, yep. Good stuff. Man, I'm gonna start paying you guys to record. Like, Actually, I had an idea. If you guys remember, like the very beginning of Critical Role Campaign 1, when they like recorded their own like backstory monologues, I thought about having you guys do the same thing and record like little intros for your characters.
Oh, that would be
that would be
I
cool.
I would love to do that. That would be
I
so
would.
fun.
Fucking love that, actually.
We'll talk, because after all, like, God, you guys are good, and now I just have like this. Okay, so man, a lot of headcanons. Gil saying like, it'd be nice to have a warm day, but also after saying like your fire eating you up and other people, it just made me think of like Gil going out in like a glorious end, but Kasimir going with him, like as this like not romantic, not like lovey-dovey, but romantic in like this big like gregarious, glorious end together. I'm like, oh god, oh.
I suppose that's a little up to you.
It's up to me.
A lot of up to the dice.
That's a lot up to the dice.
I will say it is a
pickleback.
bucket list item to have a character
Go
go out
out
in a blaze of glory,
yeah, blaze of
but
glory.
one that actually makes a difference.
Yep. It could happen. So, we're close approaching 10:30. Is there any other sort of, prep, sort of downtime-ish things that people want to do before we effectively monster slaying? Sweet. And, if you want to do shopping or other things, we can always kind of sort of take care of that, off to the side. But what I would like to do is take one quick little sort of pee, refill, water break, whatever, and then we'll sort of fast forward a little bit, jump into the next section, so that way we can set up our next session and speed on right along. So let's take a little itty bitty break. There's that. So basically, what I wanted to end on first, Southwell gave you the tip of their sacrificial spot, the cave where they believe this manticore resides.
We're going.
You're going. Perfect. Now, let me zoom in a little here so I can double check my work, check my math. It's maybe, depending on if you decide or not, you can take your dog sled with your dogs, and it would maybe be like an hour out of town. You could also walk with your snowshoes, be about 2 hours out of town, and then 2 hours back. Because of, politics and budget and manpower, whatever else, they can potentially send some guards with you and escort you, take care of your dogs while you're doing the job, XYZ, that kind of stuff. But then that would I would make you guys roll, because I'm not going to be in charge of that. Roll a couple charisma checks on behalf of the town militia and Sheriff Southwell. Just when people start asking, like, hey, what's going on? Why are people heading outside of town? Why are the guards escorting them? What's going on? Or you can sort of trek out on foot, take a little bit longer there and back, arouse less suspicion, XYZ, whatever else. So it's up to you. The crux of this problem is, what do you do with your dogs?
I vote we leave our dogs so as not to endanger them in some possibly deadly fight with one or more monsters, and just hoof it there and back. It's only 4 hours.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
don't
a-
think.
What are the guards doing exactly in the second scenario again? Are they helping us?
They would, escort you there safely. They would take care of your stuff and your dogs while you go do the job, escort you back, kind of just be a second set of hands. Like higher legs almost.
I like that option. I'm
yeah,
gonna be
I'm
honest.
all for having someone else do it.
Yeah,
I-
I don't think
or-
James Marsden's ready to be traumatized just yet.
Yeah. I mean, my only thing is, if those charisma checks go awry,
They won't.
okay. I'm just saying, and we might have more cachet if we come back with a monster or two dead already, for people to be like, okay, maybe there's something to buy into with this.
We don't. I mean, we ain't got to tell them that we're going to go get monsters. We can just say,
Well, yeah, we weren't going to.
okay.
But I mean, the more religious orthodox among them start getting ideas. We may have some monsters plus some weirdo cultists on our hands.
Are
Whatever.
Are there any agnostic guards?
Probably. But you imagine that,
I don't think we can ask that on the application.
It would
That's protected.
if the charisma checks, almost in a meta thing, but you guys have an understanding of how things work here. If the charisma checks go awry, it could definitely devolve into sort of Reagan-era conspiracy theories.
That's fine.
About the guard, about the speakers, about you guys, about all the Frostmaiden, these witches, whoever they are, the monsters. Like, it could definitely devolve in uncontrollable ways.
That horny dwarf is the deep state.
Exactly.
I mean,
Let's go
honestly,
garbage,
I don't think it matters too much. We could just take the guards. Random people are just gonna be mad no matter what. You know what I mean?
That's also a fair point.
Hey, I don't really trust people not to make up theories. Even if we come into town and leave, they're gonna be like, oh, you know what? These near dwellers.
Is the manticore a daytime dweller or more of a nocturnal nuisance?
It's interesting. In traditional lore, they're sort of, typical creatures of, hunting at certain times, sleeping at certain times. But the Icewind Dale manticores are a little more rare. And this one specifically, Sheriff Southwell says that they have only seen it at the new moon. On the day of. Like, it awakens and flies around and waits for its sacrifice kind of thing.
So it's like a cicada.
Kinda, yeah.
I
So, it sounds as though... Okay, now it's kind of devolved into two separate questions. Are you leaving your dogs behind or taking them with you? And are you going to take an enclave of guards with you or leave them behind?
Why don't we just do with the second option? The one that they recommended with the guards, taking care of our shit, bring the dogs with us.
I think it's too high profile, but I will defer to the group.
I mean, they already know. Everybody in all the 10 towns already know us.
Yeah, but they don't know that we're going against the lottery system.
We're not necessarily going against the lottery system, just bringing guards.
How do you have to know that? We're just monster hunting.
Yeah, everybody hates monsters. Not a single person in 10 towns is like, the monsters. I hope they dick me down.
Besides you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Monsters Inc. hasn't come out yet.
All right, it appears the wind is blowing in the direction of taking guards.
Okay.
Taking your
I like
guards and dogs. As sort of like a... Basically clout, Sheriff Southwell will be sort of the leading officer of the few guards that he brings with him. And he'll bring a couple of the town militia. The town itself can generally call upon a total of 250 people to defend the town, but they definitely don't have that many in circulation. So it's going to be a smaller group to accompany you. They'll watch your stuff. They'll hold the bags while you go on the roller coaster kind of thing. And Sheriff Southwell will make sure that you are led to the correct spot. Now, what is this song?
Can I ask one of them to hold on to my hammer?
One of them does.
Jesus. That guy's gonna get his arms ripped off.
Now, sake of brevity, we skip ahead a little bit. Do you guys want to go ahead of the new moon, or go on the day of the new moon when you know that the manticore will be out and about?
Ahead. So we can kill some monsters before the manticore comes back.
In the herd a little bit, hopefully. Or at the very least, gain some well-needed experience fighting the creatures that we're fighting. And then engaging the big one, having a more in-depth combat.
Okay. Austin.
Yep.
How many of those nice little arrows are you wanting to make? As many as you want? How much resources did you buy?
I bought oh shoot. I wrote it down, hang on. Bought sets of chain. Sets of yeah. I was trying to make sure I did the math right on my gold too. So yeah, I have total 50 foot of chain, so 5 10-foot pieces, 10-foot lengths of chain. And then like 400 feet of rope. So so feasibly, if I were to use them in the combat way,
yeah,
I'd probably use chain, shorter range, but sturdier, easier to pull the maneuver. And then rope for the basically ranged grappling hook.
Okay. What's the normal range of your bow?
I have that written down, so I do not have that written down because I haven't had to think about it in a while. We haven't fought things in a hot minute. Normal range is 150 feet. Extended range is 600.
Roll a d6.
2.
You're choosing. Because basically, it was 3. You had the maximum of getting 1 chain and 2 of the full, basically, full-length rope arrows, and sort of a half-ish length chain arrow. With 2, you could either do 2 of the full-length rope arrows, or a 1 rope and 1 chain arrow. As far as tinkering, experimenting, crafting all of that together. So effectively, the chain has a shorter range, but a much greater chance of success as far as like pulling and, things like that. But the rope gives you like the full distance.
Thinking.
That's fine. And you can keep thinking on it if you want.
Yeah.
We can wrap up.
Yep.
So, now that Carson has left, thank goodness.
Wow.
Not at all. The day comes, a few days before the new moon, when things are a bit quiet. The weather has calmed down a bit. You wait until a good day to set out with your enclave of guards, your dog sled, Sheriff Southwell, and they take you to the sacrificial post, effectively. Oh no, Austin, come back. No, Carson, come back. Okay, well.
What's going on?
That was weird. They don't
Oh
even live in
no,
the same home.
party.
He doesn't know what happened.
You're muted.
I don't know what happened to me.
It was weird because Carson dropped immediately after you. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to me. But yeah. Sorry.
I don't know what to do. At the very least, I'm going to jump us a little bit ahead to the map.
Carson's power.
It was power?
Carson's power cut.
Nice. So for you all and eventually on the stream, map courtesy of Dice Grimorium, some amazing freaking maps. I've used them a couple times for this game. Really awesome maps. So this is just sort of the general layout of the spot. You can see the post that the sacrifices were once strapped to, but has since been ripped from the ground and dragged this far. All sorts of rocks and boulders, and
It's a nice boulder.
that's a nice boulder.
That's
I'm
nice
going to jump to another map really fast. Around Bryn, Shander, you might be able to notice that it's sort of set up on a hill with different cliffs falling on either side of it until it's down at sort of ground level. This cave that they've led you to is sort of built into one of those sort of cliff faces. You can kind of see where that would be. And this sort of dark spot to the southwestern side of the map, that's where the cave is. The rest is sort of just rocks and snow. It's quiet. The wind howls, the snow falls, and Carson's back.
Hell yeah.
My goddamn power went out.
Really? Is it storming?
I guess
it's
it
not.
might be.
It's not
It's
storming over
it
here.
flickered twice. Like everything went off and then immediately came back on. That happened twice. Yeah.
Maybe a surge.
Dude, you're about to get Stranger Thinged.
Please.
His eyes are
You
going
hear
to
a
get
bell?
sucked into his
Please.
head.
Yeah, Vecna, come get me.
Well, speaking of, this cave here actually has Vecna inside.
Oh, great.
But Carson, all you missed was that
Level 3.
sort of inside of one of the cliffs near Bryn Shander. There's all these rocks, and then this to the southwestern portion of this map is the cave where the beast is assumed to live. All sorts of rocks and boulders and all sorts of natural hazards in the way, and then the pillar that the sacrifices were once tied to has since been dragged and covered in snow here. It's fairly unassuming around here. It's fairly quiet, besides, of course, the howling wind, crunching of snow, your dog's heavy breathing after riding this way, the guards mumbling, their armor clinking. If you would like, you all could, or some of you, one of you, whoever, could inch a bit closer using the rocks as cover to try and eyeball what might be in that cave, hear something, smell something, whatever it might be. But that is up to whoever wants to attempt that.
Me.
Does anyone want to go with Norm?
Yeah.
I just love the yeah. Anyone else? So if Norm and Kasimir will both make stealth checks for me.
That
Uh,
is
I'll just be watching from a
15.
distance.
We will be watching.
From a distance.
What's my stealth?
What'd you get, Carson?
18.
18.
Hey, me too.
You too?
Oh,
Winning.
So you managed to get all the way up to the nearest sort of rock way up there to the southwest.
Cool.
When you hear what is comparable to a sleeping bear. Heavy breathing. You hear what sounds like sleeping giant beast. You don't see it, but you can hear its deep, heavy breathing. And it's slumbering during effectively what is the daytime in its cave.
Should we wake it up?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead. Do both of you have dark vision?
Nope.
I do.
Kasimir, make a perception check for me.
I have a lantern. Can I use my lantern?
That
Ooh.
probably won't help.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be shining light in this eyes. Perception.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, 21.
You can see a hulking form.
Uh-huh.
You know, you don't see the wings outspread and the flowing mane or anything, but you see a hulking form curled up like a kitten, asleep in the cave. Sort of a silhouetted with a bit of dim light outside.
Does the silhouette and size sound roughly like the thing that was described?
Roughly, you don't see its wings, which are one of the defining features. It could very well just be a very large crag cat. But there's not many things that are feline-like and that big slumbering out here in Icewind Dale.
Okay. This may be a real stretch, but do I know anything about the habits of these creatures? I mean, it seems they are, at the very least, not diurnal. Are they nocturnal, or do they like sleep for days after or weeks after a kill? Like, I mean, I know these things are, I guess, technically of what, maybe human level intelligence at least.
Barely.
Okay.
These Icewind Dale manticores tend to go a little bit longer without food, as most animals do. They'll store up for a little while. But there's something... Some of the pieces don't necessarily add up as far as this creature feeding off of humanoid sacrifices and slumbering this close to town, and they only see it once a month. It needs food far more often than that. So it... Honestly, all that can be described, it seems as though it's in almost a supernatural slumber. Like, it's not a typical, like, I'm a manticore and I feed this way and I live this way. Like, it has a directive. It has a purpose. And it is slumbering until that purpose is fulfilled, kind of thing.
And based on its intelligence, probably not a purpose that it came up with.
Quite possibly.
Okay. I'm
take
going. Go ahead.
I take out one of my net oil jars and I look at Kasimir with the look of, are we gonna do this?
Not yet.
Yeah, I just am frantically like, no.
In time. Yes.
Pulls
Not
out
now.
grenade right now.
Yeah, yeah. It pins slowly. Nope.
Yep.
But yeah, I think through a series of, like cool guy hand gestures, I direct Norm and to walk back with me to the rest of the group where we can relay what we have seen and heard.
Make one more stealth check, the both of you.
Okay. Another 18.
I see that head scratch, Alan.
5.
as you step away, you get about halfway back, and you hear a and the snoring continues. It definitely had sort of, that lapse in sleep for a second. You're not sure if you guys did that, if that was a normal lapse in sleep, but it's definitely not completely just dead to the world.
Cool. I held my breath for that entire duration until I heard it return to its previous mode of sleep. And then I just kind of let out. Continue.
And then you
sneaking
get back, and you can sort of relay to everyone that effectively you have a slumbering ice manticore in its cave.
All right.
So
We
here's
found
what we do.
That's where we end. We'll come up with it next time.
I will leave that up to everyone else. Do you want to develop a plan? Like, do you want to jumpstart it and, like, heist it right now? Like, come up with a plan now or wait until next time?
We
Yeah,
can
we
wait
do
till
it
next
next
time.
Yeah.
I already got my plan, yeah.
Holding the jar in your hand.
I guarantee all our best laid plans are gonna fucking fail, and somehow oil net jars is going to fucking save the day.
I mean, I don't know how you're saying that. Like, that's not just gonna happen anyway.
Well, yeah, I'm saying that's just gonna happen.
I mean, I don't want to say I'm not pulling punches, but this is definitely, like, sort of mini boss territory. Like, it's gonna have, some, like, villainous legendary actions and unique resistances that manticores don't normally have, and unique damage things that and, some, like, if you do this thing, then it loses this thing, and so it's gonna, in your planning, will definitely affect what happens. So it's gonna be an interesting thing. So definitely brainstorm.
I'm gonna go in there and just fuck it up,
Look over
Just-
your skills.
hey, just
Just fuck it up.
Fuck it up.
It's
That's all you
that
gotta do.
easy.
Yeah, see, we could fight on even ground, or we could sneak up on it and proverbially hold its paws behind its back and give it a few swift punches to the ribs before it has a chance to react.
Yeah. Or you
You
can
can just
throw
ask
a
it to just be like, hey,
flaming jar
like,
there.
could you chill out and not?
Can you just not?
Yeah.
Fast forward to you guys in front of Arl the Frostmaiden and wincing. Can you just not?
Yeah, just stop that.
Yeah.
Stop.
Every fucking alive boss monster is with us, and they're just like, well, he made a pretty good point.
That would be a really funny way to play, like, campaigns where there's that kind of big boss, like, Curse of Strahd or Rime of the Frostmaiden or whatever, where it's like, instead of defeating the mini bosses, you persuade them to join you, and then at the end you're like, look.
Man.
We just incite a protest.
We have an army and a Hulk.
Yeah, men will literally preside over a domain of dread for centuries before going to therapy.
That's, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That does sound like the plot of Curse of Strahd.
It is.
It's literally the plot.
100%. That's my favorite part of Curse of Strahd, is that it's this whole grim gothic horror, and it's like, yeah, but he's just this gaslighting dick. Like, that's all he is.
Yeah, he's kind of an incel.
He is. I love it. It's hilarious. Whenever I was running Curse of Strahd briefly for my friends Lily and Dylan and Cody, somehow, I think because, there's the part of Curse of Strahd where, like, the party can get an invitation to Ravenloft, and somehow that devolved into the party thinking that Strahd was simping for the party. And there was some other joke made, and then it devolved into Strahd wearing like super tight, high-waisted jeans to make his ass look really good, but then he was simping for the party the whole time. And so then immediately at that point, it turned into a meme of Strahd being this like Instagram bitch in like jeans.
That's magical.
Is Strahd von Zarovich an insta baddie?
Like, I made it pretty clear in the beginning, like, yeah, he really has a thing for Arena. But then they got an invitation to Ravenloft. They're like, oh my god, he's so thirsty for us. No, he's not.
It's
God,
fine. They
why are you
usually,
so obsessed with
honestly, based off of the subreddit, it seems like most
Kinda. That's it.
groups actually do that. Honestly,
I mean, that's fair.
My favorite one is I read somewhere about how like there's like a party that dealt or like the person like this party's their DM essentially was like each of the domains of dread that they went to had like something to do with each of the characters, and how each of the lords of the domains of dread, like it was a whole thing about how it was like each of the lords of the domains of dread was specifically handcrafted to like appeal to that player and their kinks.
Oh no.
oh no.
Like, because it was like a really close group of friends, and it was like totally like they were all okay with that.
Hey
So,
Austin,
like,
fill out
that-
this Google form about what
No.
turns
Yeah.
you on,
But it was
please.
just like they were all really close
have a
friends.
quiz
And they
for
had been
you.
really close friends. They had been really close friends for years, so they knew a lot about each other, and they were all totally cool with that. The DM was like, "So I kind of want to go this direction with it. Is that cool with everyone?" And they're like, "Yeah, that sounds great."
Hey Alan, fill out this BDSM quiz so I can know your kinks and use it against you.
The Dread Lord Rainbow Dash.
No, please no.
It's called BDSM.
That's it.
I would literally burn.
That's a great note to end on, Carson. Thank you so
I
much.
would torch myself.
So with that, yes, we will figure out what you guys are doing to this Manticore next week.
Yikes.
Theoretically,
sounds
is
good.
everyone good next week?
Only if a Manticore
Yeah, I
asks me
think
about my
so.
BDSM test.
That's the alternative sacrifice. You can either sacrifice a person or give up the results to your BDSM quiz, knowing they will be used against you.
I mean, win-win.
I already know
Win,
the result
win,
for
win.
Travis. I already know the results for Travis's BDSM test.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
Okay.
on that note,
anyway.
provided that is all hunky-dory, we will be here next week.
Those
I-
results are far from hunky dory, let me tell you.
I am working on figuring out when our next Shadows Over Drift Chapel thing is. Bradley had a moving conundrum happen, so we had to cancel our last week's session. But as the rotator says, I had to change our layout. We're in straight up the last like 2 or 3 sessions of the campaign. It's getting real scary. It's getting real sexy. It's going to be nice and fun here in the next couple
Scary
weeks.
and sexy. Hey,
So
yo.
definitely checking out. And we've also, as a group, we want to keep playing together. We have some ideas. I have so many Call of Cthulhu ideas. I don't know what to do with myself. So we may stream some Call of Cthulhu because I am dying to play some Call of Cthulhu.
The Milkman returns.
Austin, that could not have been the best randomly generated quote.
Right?
That scene. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought. But yes, Shadows Over Drift Trap will hopefully be back next week. It won't be on the usual Friday. It might be on a weekday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. But hopefully we'll be back. We're getting into the final ends of the campaign. I definitely had them roll a lot of sanity checks in the last session. And there's one clue, one hint for how this next leg of the campaign will go. In that many sessions ago, they let slip that they like multi-stage boss battles. So you better check in for the next couple sessions, because good golly, Miss Molly, it's not going to be fun for anybody. It is designed to be horrible.
Love it.
It's going to be lots of fun. I think that's about all I've got. Oh! Sorry. My pinky brushed my mic and it made a loud noise.
Didn't hear anything.
Oh, thank you, Google Meets, for pressing that. Basically, we have Jacob to thank. I mentioned a long time ago that the money from subscriptions and bits and things I get from Twitch will go to fund things for stream. I've officially subscribed to D&D Beyond, the top tier version, so I can share my content with players. I'll need to double check the numbers, but I don't think I'm too far from being able to purchase all of the player books, Xanathar's, Tasha's, all that good stuff. So then we can make the Icewind Dale characters in D&D Beyond, have a uniform campaign game log to put all of the information in, and have the D&D Beyond overlay on Twitch with all of our accurate hit points and armor class and things like that.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So we are not far from that becoming a reality. I will double check the numbers, so during our next session, I'll probably make like a little goal thing down at the bottom.
How much?
But
How far are we?
like I said, I'll need to check the numbers. I need to double check. I don't think too terribly farther, because I already have the player's handbook, but all of you guys decided to play really weird and exotic races that are not in the player's handbook, so I need to get all the other books. Thanks for that. That's great.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
You can also buy just like races and stuff individually.
Yes, you can also buy individual races and things, but I run other campaigns and things, so I kind of want to get all this stuff. But I think with the new drama with the Mordenkainen's thing, I may end up just getting the races. But like I said, I will put it on stream what the goal is. Might be close enough already. But yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to give some very cool things, some stream stuffs, and also that way we can have a more communal way of sharing campaign information and names and locations, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, so shout out to Jacob for all of his gift subs for making that happen.
Speaking of,
No, don't do it. We're done. It's over.
too
man.
late.
It's over, my guy. Yo, shout out to Handler. Shout out for Lily. We're visiting. No, Lily and Dylan are visiting us for 4th of July, and then we're visiting them at the end of July. It's gonna be awesome.
Nice.
And I missed whoever else. We've got Emily. Shout out to Emily. I'll stretch for Emily again. Giraffe MD. I write for WebMD. I write about dogs though, not giraffes.
Maybe
Carson's
you should branch out.
a subscriber. Shout out to Carson.
I just saw the quote that popped up.
That's great. Yep.
Fucking A.
Every time, so no lie, anytime Halorosoponics, every time they pop into a stream and I'm like, hey, how are you doing? They're always doing something computer sciencey and robotics-y that just goes way over my head. And I'm like, that sounds awesome. I'm glad for you. But it's always like, yeah, I had to build this robot for this competition. And I had to do all this stuff, and I had to use this program I've never used before. And I learned this whole program over a weekend. And I was like, great, man.
I am but a simple wordsmith.
That's what it was like my whole life. Just
Your whole
every
life?
So that's not a new thing. That's an ongoing forever thing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely... Yeah, and I always felt weird in streets. I was like, great, cool. You're building robots, and I'm sitting here playing a 10-year-old game on the internet. Cool. Oh, jeez. Jacob Todd has gifted a total of 52 subs in this channel.
Jesus Christ.
Jacob, would you like to say a word to the audience?
I'm just trying to support my friends.
We definitely appreciate
Thank
it.
you all for being here.
Falling out for the homies.
What is the point of making a livable income if you can't help your friends?
Well, and also it's going to go to fund an even better, greater campaign. Because even once D&D Beyond is paid for, any other money will continue to be used for funding people like on Patreon who make wonderful maps and magical items that will make an appearance in this campaign and all sorts of fun stuff. So it's gonna always come back around. Lots of fun stuff.
Hell yeah.
So, with that, Travis subscribed. 15 months.
Yeah, I've missed a couple months somewhere in
That's
there.
okay. I'm the streamer, and I also missed a couple months.
I have apparently been subscribed for 18 months.
Yeah, it's a couple months I've been missing.
It's okay. Yeah, basically all you guys are doing are just helping fund stuff to make this campaign more fun for you. That's all it is. So,
Oh no.
it's great.
Why would I? Oh no. That
Oh,
sounds
no.
awful.
Omewamu.
Shindo.
There it is.
Nani?
How do we end this? What's the thing we say?
Carefully.
Dale?
Jarn.
Yeah. Dale, yeah. Praise Hail, raise Dale. Wait.
Praise.
Yeah, raise Dale.
Raise Dale, Dale, Dale.
Praise Hail.
Praise Dale. Praise Hail.
Why do you need to say that?
Happy Pride Month.
I need a raise Dale, praise Hail t-shirt now.
Dale, 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 Dale.
Okay, now hear me out. When it says that, it needs to be like a little like graphic of like zombie Dale Earnhardt.
Very tasteful.
That's so
very tasteful.
morbid.
Totally.
What do you mean? It's history at this point. I think it's been more than 20 years.
Oh God.
I thought it was.
Oh,
Wait, hold
when
on,
did
hold
Dale Earnhardt die?
2003?
Yeah, it's been longer since 9/11
Yep,
than
yep.
when Dale Earnhardt died.
Yep,
And
so it's
everybody's
technically
forgotten
history
about
now.
that by now.
It's actually technically history by now. That's like the definition of
Yeah.
Also, fun fact: Dale Earnhardt Sr. is from Kannapolis.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
North Carolina boys.
Yeah, I knew that.
Didn't know that.
That's why they're so.
Yeah.
That's why we know them.
That
Honestly.
makes sense now. I've never known that, but
Nope.
you know, everybody I know who's into NASCAR in North Carolina makes a big deal out of Dale Earnhardt. So, and I
That's
was
why.
like, "Oh, cool, Dale Earnhardt, yeah."
Oh,
Didn't
that's
realize
why.
he's from Kannapolis. Oops.
Oh man, Jesus Christ. Okay, so wait, what are we ending on? What's the thing we say?
Dale,
we say
Dale,
Raise
Dale,
Dale, praise
Dale,
Hail.
Dale.
praise Dale, praise
Dale,
Hail.
Dale.
Raise Dale,
Dale.
praise Hail. Raise Dale, praise Hail.
I'm making the world's worst shirt out of
And the
that.
fact that
Dale,
all of
Dale,
you are
Dale.
saying roughly the same thing at almost the same time, it just sounds like ale, 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 ale.
I mean, I was
over.
literally just saying Dale, 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 Dale. So
Yeah,
India.
you know,
Pale
something like what your average NASCAR viewer would sound like.
Yikes.
All right,
Some
so
Dale,
there it is.
I.e. Boomhauer.
yeah, you.